FAU.
Hi, I'm Kory, Mitchell, and this is FAU Today. Today's show will be covering everything FAU for Boca Raton and the South Florida community.
It's an interactive radio show that can be heard and seen on wwnnradio.com and amp2.tv.
Everything I need to know about FAU sports is right here.
Simply go to amp2.tv or call 1-866-224-5422. And now it's Kory, Mitchell, and friends on FAU Today.
Welcome to this week's edition of FAU Today, streaming live on WNN 1470, and you get a video at amp2.tv. I'm here with my partner, my friend, and my coworker, Freddy Santori. How's it going?
It's going good, Kory. Thanks for having me on today.
And just like myself, you are an FAU alumni. So before we get into today's topics, give the listeners a brief background of your experience.
Well, I graduated FAU about a year ago. I have 2 degrees, one in marketing, one in management. I spent 2.5 years at FAU. I transferred from another college. And, my experience, I've traveled a lot, and I've gone to a couple of different schools. And I really enjoyed, going to FAU, and the campus is beautiful, the weather is beautiful, and the teachers there, I found myself learning from them more like a peer-to-peer basis, not more of like a teacher-student relationship. It was more like we're in class, we're trying to learn the same thing. You have something to teach me, I have something to teach you, and that partnership grew, and relationships form, and you usually get better grades that way. So I had a good time.
That's great to hear. And do you believe that your business and marketing degree that you obtained from FAU helped you in the workforce? Because get a degree from, I'm not going to badmouth other colleges, let's just say your local community college or your local state college, it doesn't hold a lot of merit to some employers. So do you believe having that Florida Atlantic University at the top of your diploma made a difference?
Well, that's a great question. A lot of schools, you have the Ivy Leagues, and you have you just have top name brands schools, and FAU is probably not high on that list. But at
least we're being practical.
I'm being honest. It's not high on the list, but it has the promise. This is an up and coming school. It's been around for a while. You got a football team that's been struggling the last couple of years with trying to find the right personnel to coach, but you also have a student body that's behind them every step of the way. And that, to me, like when you go to school and you enjoy going to school, not because of your class or your friends, but you go because you have pride in your school, that to me means you love your school, and that school is going to do well. So, I love my school. I love all my schools that I've been to, but FAU especially, I graduated there. And, school is what you make of it. And if you can't go in there and work hard, and you're not going to succeed anywhere. But back to your question, did FAU's title help me get a job? Not necessarily, but did FAU, their teachings and their lessons help me get a job? Absolutely. And that could be said about any school. It doesn't matter what school you go to. As long as you take the lessons from that school and you apply them in your life, you're going to do well.
And you know what? That's why I love having Freddy Santori co-host the show with me, because, of course, he did not stick to the script. The show is called FAU Today, but he gave a blunt and honest assessment, which how can you not like? And if you are an alumni like ourselves, or current student, or someone involved in the FAU community, at least 777 Glades Road teaches honesty, because that was an honest answer right there.
I'm keeping it real. That's all I'm doing.
We might need to change the show. Keeping it real. Well, you did touch on our struggling football program, and we made news this week. Not necessarily the program, but our former running back coach, Roger Harriet, is now the head coach for the high school powerhouse St. Thomas Aquinas. And if you're not familiar with high school football, St. Thomas Aquinas wins the state championship practically every year. If you look at today's NFL rosters for all 32 teams, St. Thomas Aquinas has the most professional football players from any high school, period. It's not close. Not Miami Northwestern, not some school in Texas, not some school in Georgia or Ohio, St. Thomas Aquinas. And if you're trying to draw the correlation and put 2 and 2 together, we now have it in for a powerhouse high school. When was the last time you seen FAU football bring in a 5-star or a 4-star or a highly heralded recruit? Now that a former coach is coaching the most visual, prominent, maybe the face of football in South Florida. Now, that's a good look for us. What do you think about that, Freddie?
I like that. Our school is not known for winning football games. They're definitely not known for any athletic promise. But when you do have a coach that has that potential to make your school better, it's a win-win. That's the way I look at it.
And just imagine how easier it will be to appeal to these big-name athletes because, of course, they're going to have the Alabamas, the Florida States, the Ohio States of the world knocking on their door, sitting in their living room, trying to persuade them why they should attend their school. Imagine how better it is for Coach Charlie Partridge at FAU, knowing that the head coach who tutors, mentors these athletes every day is an owl. He's one of us. He will be pushing an FAU letter before he pushes an Alabama or Mississippi State. I think it's a great idea, and I think it's great in the sense that we have a connection, and I think it's a great idea for Roger Harriet to leave FAU and coach the most powerful football program in the nation. I think that has owl prints written all over it. We have a lot in store for today's show. We're going to mention the FAU Gala that's taking place March 21st. We're going to talk about a sports team that's currently ranked 20th in the nation. And we're going to talk about some interesting schools you wouldn't expect to see play here in Boca that will be playing pretty soon. This is FAU Today, and we'll be back after the break.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV.
You know who with FAU. It's FAU Today with Kory Mitchell. It's time to get in touch at 1-888-565-1470. 1-888-565-1470. FAU Today with Kory Mitchell right now.
Welcome back to FAU Today. I'm here with my co-host Freddy Santori. How's it going?
It's going good. I love it right now. This is exciting time, especially for FAU. Like we were talking about earlier, you can go ahead and keep on going with the FAU Owls and their football team.
And you touched on this briefly in the first segment before we went to commercial break. Freddy Santori said, even if our football team isn't good, the student body will get behind it. We will have tradition. We will have a buzz about the program, positive or negative. And some positive news that came out of the program recently, our athletic director, Pat Chun, he made a statement in a press conference where he practically said, of course, FAU being a smaller Division I football program, we play the likes of an Alabama, a Georgia, or Ohio State for quote-unquote money games every year, and those games take away from home games that our fans will love to see.
Oh, I would definitely love to see Alabama come down here, but, the money is in traveling, so I do appreciate the team actually getting a game against a powerhouse team like that because it just makes your program better. We might get beat up a little bit, but one day we're going to sneak up on them.
And it gives us the recognition to all these athletes that, hey, we might not be in the big-time conference like the SEC or the Pac-10, but we definitely play big-time talent.
Oh, definitely. And when you're playing big-time talent, you have to get big-time talent. So this is why we're talking a little bit about high school football.
And one way they plan on recruiting big-time talent is having more home games against notable opponents. And if you haven't checked out FAU's recent slate of home games that's happening at our own campus stadium, we have University of Miami to open the season off this year. We have UCF coming. We're going to get a chance to, infiltrate the Central Florida, talent pool and bring them down south. And we have Ball State, the reigning MAC conference champion, playing here. And I think that's pretty good for us.
I definitely agree. Anytime you can see any of those schools play, especially at home and you don't have to travel, it's a great feeling, especially if FAU is involved.
And you know what, Freddy? We're about 15 minutes into the show, and we talked, in my opinion, too much about football. We put a lot of emphasis on a program that doesn't even have a winning record. Let's talk about a program that's not only in the top 25 in the NCAA polls, but they're on a current 8-game win streak, a current 10-game win streak at home. I'm talking about our 20th ranked nationally FAU baseball team.
Yeah, I actually know a couple guys on the team, and they're doing a great job this year. And maybe, just maybe, they'll get in the top 10, 15 in the next couple of weeks.
You know what? That maybe seems more like a reality. And your great job seems like a understatement. This team right now, 14-2. Just swept University of Rutgers, and I mean beat the brakes off of University of Rutgers. This past weekend, we scored 40 combined runs. I'm a Miami Marlins fan.
Was this a basketball game or a baseball game?
Baseball. Oh. And I'm a Miami Marlins fan, professionally baseball. It takes us 80 games to score 40 runs. And look at our college baseball team doing it in a 3-game stretch. We concluded this weekend dominating Rutgers 12-4, followed by a 10-3 win. And Ricky Santiago, he's so good you can't butcher his name. Ricky Santiago set the tone with hitting this season's first Grand Slam. And during our most recent game against Rutgers this past Saturday, that 12-4 victory, every starter had a hit by the 4th inning.
That's impressive.
And the best part about that is the truck is continuing to roll. It's continuing to roll. Tomorrow, March 10th, we play Illinois State at home. So those of you in the Boca Raton community who wants to watch your Owls play, make sure you get a ticket, you come to the stadium, and you support your Owls. Because like Freddy said, in a couple more weeks, we're going to crack the top 15 and then 10 and then possibly be national champions.
Yeah, and I might actually go to this game after I get off work. But, in the next couple of weeks, if we do well and I'm out in the stands and I don't see or I don't recognize you, don't be a bandwagon fan. Don't be a bandwagon fan. Start now. Get behind the team now, and work all the way through the season. That's how programs grow. That's how fans. That's how teams do well especially when you have fans in the stands.
And the Boca Raton area and the Boca Raton citizens, we have a lot of stereotypes placed on us. Some good, some bad. Let's not make one of those being halftime fans. Let's not come out and support FAU baseball when we're in the College World Series or we're playing for something meaningful. Let's support them now. Let's let them know this community is behind them.
Exactly. I used to play college football, and I played for a team. Now, we were not that good. We weren't the best of athletes.
You weren't FAU.
We weren't FAU. But, every time we had a game and we looked up in the stands and they were empty, that doesn't make that team better. That makes them worse. They start playing worse. They're not playing for anything. So give them something to play for. Go out and cheer them on.
And you know what? I'm not going to overly chastise our listeners in the Boca Raton community because today I did a little research. I wanted to know, if I wasn't an FAU student, how can I know about what's going on at FAU? So I went to this website called events.fau.edu/master calendar. And when you hear master calendar, what do you expect to see?
A master list of all the events.
All the events. Nothing on that website. Not in the month of March, not in February, not in January, and not in 2014. So our listeners who come to me and say, hey, FAU didn't notify me, they didn't do a good job of informing us of what's going on. I went to this website and there's nothing posted. That's why you're listening to us right now.
I was gonna say, you know how to get that information. FAU Today, you gotta watch it.
We're bringing the information live to you. And you know what? Speaking of information, we're gonna touch on baseball some more following this commercial break. But we have a special event going on at FAU. We have our gala, FAU Gala, and it's honoring somebody special. Find out after the break.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV.
You know who with FAU. It's FAU Today with Kory Mitchell. It's time to get in touch at 1-888-565-1470. 1-888-565-1470. FAU Today with Kory Mitchell right now.
Welcome to FAU Today. I know our viewers watching me on amp2.tv see me dancing a little bit. That's because I'm feeling this wave of FAU. It's so much positive energy here in Boca Raton and with the whole FAU community. Just makes me want to dance. What do you say about that, Freddy?
I'm not much of a dancer, but I feel the same way.
You know what? This event right here is going to make my pockets dance. For $250 a ticket, you are invited to this year's annual FAU Gala. And the person being honored is our newest president, John Kelly, who didn't get a chance to reap the benefits of the gala last year because it was in that transition period of seeing President MJ Saunders out in her regime and bringing President Kelly in. And you know what, me personally, I haven't met John Kelly before. But from what I read, he's a good guy. And he's so good that for each ticket, although they are $250 a pop,
I was going to say that's a chunk of change.
the proceeds go to the Kelly Family Foundation, which gives scholarships to the student body. So
He's giving it right back.
how great is this guy?
He's great.
He throws these high-priced, Boca Raton-esque price events, but he sends it right back to the FAU community, and I think that's pretty great.
Yeah, I definitely agree. How do I get one of these tickets?
You go to FAU.edu, search FAU Gala, and they have a hyperlink for you to click on where you could purchase the tickets. Now, to give you some background information, it's taking place Saturday, March 21st, starting at 6:30 p.m., and it will be held at the football stadium, not on the field, but in the press box, and it will be the Martin F. and Jane Greenberg Foundation Tower, a.k.a. the press box. From what I hear, they're going to open up multiple rooms. Food is going to be catered by Chartwells, which is the exclusive food provider on campus. And say what you want.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
You heard it from Freddy's mouth and not my mouth.
I graduated from there. I had their food. It's not that bad.
And for entertainment purposes, this is why I also like President John Kelly. Not only does the money raised go back to the FAU student community, but he also reaches for students to entertain people. Maybe I'm butchering his name because I don't watch a lot of television. I'll be honest with you. Emil and Daniel Celos, they were finalists on the hit TV series America's Got Talent, are FAU alumni, and will be performing at this gala.
That's awesome. I've seen it. Not live, but I've seen it on TV. So that, to me, is worth the price of admission.
You know what? I wonder if I can email John Kelly, ask if I MC the event, if he, give me like a tuition waiver,
or a free press pass, and give me one too.
How about for not just football? How about for all the sporting events we get press passes?
We'll cover all the games, everything.
You know what? Speaking of the games, basketball season just ended, and of course, we ended the year on an 11-game losing streak before we salvaged the season finale, which is, I don't give moral victories for organized sports, but at least you didn't lose the last one.
Yeah.
What is your take on the basketball season?
Well, I don't watch much basketball. Well, I do, but I don't watch much FAU basketball because they're not on TV all the time. Let's put it there. But, like I said, this school is going through a transitional period where, yeah, we are bad right now, but it's not gonna be for long. And a team that loses 11 in a row and then wins that last one, that's just, to me, you don't like moral victories, but to me that shows that they didn't give up even when they were down 11 games and nobody believed they were gonna win in one more.
You know what? And that victory, not only being the last win of the season, it was our second conference win. So at least we can say we won not one, but 2 games against our conference. Of course, it sounds bad. Of course, that means we had a losing record. But here at FAU today, we're positive. We have this transition where we're going to take all the negatives surrounding the program and turn it into a positive. Sort of like our students here at FAU are taking the negative of spring break being over and the positive of coming back to class today and realizing you're going to the best university in America.
And don't forget, they have the privilege of watching FAU today.
And listen, call in. Give us your comment. Give us your feedback. The number is 888-565-1470. I know I should have gave that earlier before we got into the meat and potatoes of the show, but me and Freddy, we had some catching up to do. We haven't been on air together in almost a month now.
That's right. So we had to give the people what they wanted, but hopefully next time we could hear from them. I want to hear from FAU students what they think about their school.
And I want to hear what you think, Freddy. I've been talking for about 25 minutes now. I know the show is wrapping up, but I feel like I've been hogging the microphone from you. You're a person that's usually has a lot of insightful thoughts. So what's going on with Freddy Santori?
I'm a man of very few words. No, I'm just kidding. Everything's good with me. I did graduate FAU. We've already established this, but we didn't talk about a little bit about what I do now. As you know, you're also my coworker at work. So we work for Gift of Life. It's a bone marrow registry. We help find life-saving matches for those who have blood cancers such as leukemia, lymphoma, and we do more than just help save a life. We help try and save families. Every person in this world is important, but if you can give a mother her child back, or a father or a son their mother back, like that, to me, you're not just saving one person, you're saving a family. So that's what we do on a daily basis. Could you say FAU helped me get that job? No, but could you say FAU helped me to get to where I am today? Yes. FAU definitely has gotten me as far as I can go right now, and I'm going to continue to learn and continue to use the tools that I learned at FAU to help build my career.
And Freddie just mentioned FAU didn't help you get this job that we both have. However, FAU did play their part in existing Gift of Life Bone Marrow Foundation. A few months ago, we had a walk there take place at the FAU track. They could have been they could have said no. They could have been mean. They could have directed us to that other school on the other side of town that we won't mention. But FAU opened their arms to us, and the walk was a success. Granted, I wasn't there. I was too busy doing other stuff. Freddie, can you enlighten listeners about the Gift of Life Bone Marrow Foundation walk that took place at FAU?
Certainly. We've been doing a walk at FAU for a couple of years now. It is FAU to us is kind of our our home school. It's a school that's in our backyard. We do a lot of work with them, promotions. We do a lot of drives with them. The students there are engaged with us. We give internships. That's another thing we didn't mention. So if you're looking for an internship, there's something that we can do. Gift of Life is a place, we consider FAU as a home, and we hope that FAU will consider us as a home too. So, the walk at FAU was great. I can't tell you how many people showed up, but it was packed. We celebrated a little girl, a 12-year-old little girl, was saved by a 30-year-old man. And what we do at these walks is we bring a patient and a recipient and a donor together, and for the first time. So they get to meet on stage in front of hundreds or thousands of people. And usually we hear, both of their sides of the story. So the donor, he gave a great speech about why he did it. And then the little girl's mother, all she had to do was say the two words that I think everybody agreed that's all she needed to say, was just thank you. And to me, this is why I get up every day, and this is what I do. And I love it. So I'm glad FAU is a part of it.
And you know what? I'm glad you are a part of FAU today. To wrap up this week's show, I want to let all our listeners know that if you have any questions, comments, or wants to be a part of the show, to please get in contact with me at Freddy@amp2.tv. This is FAU Today. I'm Kory Mitchell. This is Freddy Santori. Till next week, Owls.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station.